welcome to Technique Tuesday. I'm G and so happy that you're joining us. Today we're going to work with split embossing our mats. It creates such a beautiful card that we know you're going to love it. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. This is the embossing folder we're going to use. It's called Cane Weave and it's a new one out by Stampin' Up. And it creates the most beautiful embossed mat. So let's go ahead and get out our mat that we are going to use. Now we have cut this as a second mat, which is 3 3/4 by 5. But don't worry about writing down all the measurements because you can simply go onto our website, Creative Moments by G, and get these dimensions for the cards that we're going to make today. And make sure that you stay with us because we have 2 more cards to show you. We're going to make 2 and then show 2 more. So the first thing you'll need to do is get your mat. Now, the next thing you need to do is decide what sentiment you're going to use. And we are going to use this adorable stamp set, Friendly Gnomes. And so we are choosing a sentiment from that. Now, once you've decided how large your sentiment is for this split embossed card, go ahead and cut you just a strip of paper. Because depending on how you lay this on your mat, you can put it right against the edge and make sure that this is even. Now, I'm going to show you why that is so important in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get that lined up. Now, on this one, I'm going to do it just straight across. But with this technique, what makes it so great is you could do a diagonal area if you want to. It's all up to you. You can place this mat on the top or on the bottom. And you'll understand why it's so important to make sure that it's straight on this split embossed card. So let's go ahead and just line this up. Now, I know that my gnome and its little house takes up quite a bit of space. So that's why I'm putting it up closer to the top. Now, to make sure that you get it straight, go ahead and take a pencil and very lightly just draw a line right here. Now, I will show you why that is so important. So go ahead and get your embossing machine. So the sandwich that we need is simply the base plate and then number 4 because this is a 3D embossing folder. Now let me show you how to put this in your folder. You only want to emboss this top area and this bottom area. So the embossing folder goes all the way to the end. So what you're going to do is line that up right on that pencil mark. Now that's why it's so important to draw that pencil mark so that it's straight. Because believe me, it's so easy to get it crooked. And now we're just going to run that through our embossing machine. And now look at the magic. Look at that beautifully embossed top part. Now we're just going to put it in right at the bottom. You want to make sure, do not put your embossing folder over this area. Line it up once again right on that pencil mark and let's run it through the machine. And now look at this beautiful technique. Isn't that gorgeous? Now just wait until we finish decorating it. Now we need to go ahead and erase that line right there. So you can use a pencil like this. You need to be very careful about your eraser because some erasers will just make a red mess on your paper. The other thing you can use is this Mono Tombow eraser. Now you can head on over to our website, Creative Moments by G, and click on favorites and there'll be a link to get this eraser. It lasts forever. So let's go ahead and just erase that line. Okay, look at that. Gorgeous, right? Just gorgeous. Now we're going to go ahead and stamp our message And I am going to stamp that in Night of Navy because it's nice and dark. And I want to put it over here on the side. So tap, tap, tap. And now this is our mat, so we're just going to put it to the side. And I already have this gnome stamped. So let's go ahead and just color him. Now, because alcohol markers will bleed through, I want to go ahead and bring in a piece of paper so we don't have to worry about it. And I'm also going to stamp his little house. Now, I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso, and it will not bleed when the alcohol markers hit it. So that's why I like to stamp. It's not as dark as the black. So let's go ahead and color this. Now I am using an array of our blends, and I will list those over on our blog. And now I'm going to color the little house, and I'm going to pick up some browns and some greens, and also Poppy Parade for the little flowers. And now we're going to cut these out and add this to our card for the finishing touch. Now we have decided to use real red, and we created a top fold. So we have our top fold here. Now we're going to add this really pretty checkered background on our card. And we're going to add this right to the front of our card. Now, because this is 3D, you want to really get it in your crevices. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when you don't use that mat and draw your lines. Now, here is a sample of what can happen. Do you see how this is crooked? I did not use a mat to really draw my pencil lines. So that's why it's so important on this split embossed card. You want to go ahead and use a mat to really mat off where you want it, and then just draw a line on the top and the bottom, and you can remove it later. So look how cute this card is. Now we are going to add our little gnome. And we're just going to add this, glue it right down to the card. And now look at that. See how this area right here really sets off the sentiment. This split embossed card is just so pretty. Well, let's go ahead and lay down the inside of our card. And let's move on to our next card. Now for this card, we are going to use this beautiful stamp set, Nested Friends. We're going to add this bird nest, the bird, and the branch. But let's go ahead and grab our mat that we need to add that split embossed area to. So we need it to be not quite as large as the other one. So I'm going to grab a mat that's a little bit smaller, and we are just going to line it up about right there, right on the side, and I'm going to draw my line once again very lightly. And you can always bring in your sentiment just to make sure that it fits. So we know this is going to be a thank you right here. So it fits perfectly. Once again, we're going to line our embossing folder right up on that line. So make sure that it's nice and straight. And then we're going to run it through our embossing machine. Look how pretty that is. Now let's do the bottom. So you just slip it right in, right up to that pencil line. And look at that. Oh, so pretty. You don't even need any DSP because this becomes your DSP. So let's bring in our eraser and go ahead and just get that line off. And let's go ahead and stamp it. Now it's not exactly in the middle. I wanted a little bit smaller area right here. So let's get this stamped. I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. So tap, tap, tap. Now on this stamp set, really the only thing we have to color is this bird. So we are going to use these colors. It's light and dark pumpkin and petal pink. So let's go ahead and just bring that in. Now you don't really need to do much coloring on this, but we're going to color the breast right here in the pumpkin. And then just to bring in the shading that they already have, we're going to cover this in light pumpkin pie. And it's really not going to make it orange. It's just going to bring in that shading that they already have. So just go over it. And it kind of makes it a light brown. And we're just barely going to touch the beak with a little bit. And his eye. And now look at that. Isn't that pretty? So let's go ahead and cut that out. And we are going to use our dies to cut out this beautiful nest. And then the background that goes behind it is this one. And then we're going to cut out this branch. So here's the card we're going to use. We're going to use Melon Mambo, and we're going to put some soft suede as a mat. Now make sure as you're gluing it, you get it right to the edge so that that sticks down on your card. We love this Technique Tuesday because there are so many possibilities. So let's go ahead and let's lay this down right on our card. And then we're going to use our punched out images and just decorate the front of our card. Now the first thing we need to lay down is our branch. And we went ahead and we cut out the leaves on our branches so that that would be really pretty. And we're just going to put that about right here. Now these two pieces on the nest, you need to glue them down. So you can just add a little bit of glue on the back of the top part and kind of leave these branches with no glue so that they don't stick to your card. And then just lay this down. Just like that. And now we're ready to bring in the bird. Now we want to make sure the bird is sitting, so we have his little feet. We want him to be sitting right on top of this nest. So we're going to put him about right there. So just add some glue. And there we have the front of our card. Now let's go ahead and add the inside mat, because this is a colored card. Now if we had done this on a white card, you wouldn't have to add the mat. And look at this. Don't you love this split embossed folder? I love this technique. It's so pretty. Now let me show you the other two cards that we want to share with you. We have this one that we use these beautiful flowers. We have the split embossed area right here. We added a mat behind it. And we have one more card to show you. We used an entirely different embossing folder. Now this one has the flowers on it. Right there. And we added our mat here so that we could get the area exactly as big as we needed. And we simply put the embossing folder down here as well. Take a moment right now and let us know which of these cards are your favorite. We appreciate your time with us today during Technique Tuesday. We hope you like this technique. We'd love to see your cards. Put them over on our Facebook page. Remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. We want you to go out and have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.